Afghanistan is a country located within South and Central Asia that mainly shares its borders with Iran and Pakistan. Since the year 1979, Afghans have been fleeing to neighboring countries due to wars and persecution. Afghans are currently the second largest group of refugees, and until last year, the largest refugee-producing country in the world, a title they held for 32 years. There are over 1 million internally displaced people in Afghanistan, and over 9 million outside of Afghanistan.
It all started in 1979 when the first flow of refugees moved from Afghanistan to neighboring countries like Pakistan and Iran. Residents started fleeing due to the ill treatment they were receiving. Both countries began providing shelter to Afghan refugees. At one point, over 6 million refugees were being hosted in Iran and Pakistan, making Afghanistan the largest refugee-producing country in the world. When the Soviet War ended in 1989, refugees returned to their homes only to be forced out again 3 years later when a major civil war started after Mujahideen and Islamist resistance movement took control over Kabul and other major cities. After 9/11, the U.S. demanded that the Taliban hand over Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda. When they refused, the U.S. sent troops to Afghanistan. The Taliban held power over roughly three-quarters of Afghanistan and enforced a strict interpretation of Sharia, or Islamic law, banning women from work, and introducing Islamic punishments including stoning to death, a punishment where a group of people throw stones at a person until they die.
A Taliban operation frees hundreds of its fighters from Kandahar prison. Towards the end of the year, U.S. President Bush sends an additional 4,500 U.S. troops to Afghanistan. Germany also boosts its troop numbers and extends its missions in the country. Taliban attacks make the year the bloodiest year yet for international troops. In December, Obama agrees to a request by his generals to boost U.S. troop levels in Afghanistan. The total number of U.S. troops in the country is 100,000. But he has also announces that the U.S. will begin withdrawing its forces by 2011. With most foreign troops long gone, the war only seems to be getting worse. Taliban and other anti-government forces, which have been responsible for 70% of civilian casualties, have carried out 44 separate complex and suicide attacks that resulted in more than 10,000 civilian deaths and injuries in 2017. Civilian injuries and deaths caused by government forces have increased as well. 2017 also saw the highest number of casualties among women and children since the UN started keeping track in 2009. Our army continues to fight the Taliban to this day, but with no end in sight, it seems this crisis will never end.